Well, starting on Thursday, Governor Greg Abbott has called lawmakers back to the Capitol for a special session. So we have Eddy Carter with Prairie View A&M University. Good morning to you. Thanks for taking the time. Kind of
Good
break this
morning.
down for us. So what are the priorities? I remember one of the things that didn't happen was a vote on voting.
Yes, exactly. Well, we don't know exactly what the agenda will consist of. It hasn't been finalized at this point, or at least made public. But we do know that at the top of the list is probably going to be the voting law for the state. That was nipped in the bud at the end of the regular session because of the walkout by the Democrats. And that certainly placed a bee in the bonnet, so to speak, of the governor and Republicans in the state. And so that's unfinished business, and they want to revisit that and pass new restrictions on voting in the state. Other issues include addressing the topic of critical race theory, addressing the cash bail bonds, and taxpayer lobbying. Those are other issues that most likely will appear on the agenda.
Well, let me ask you about that. You had said that Democrats had walked out, and that kind of blocked the vote on the battle of our ballot here. So I wonder, could they take the same strategy here, or does a special session go and go until Governor Abbott releases them? What's the end?
Well, that's an issue among the Democrats, as well as between the Democrats and the Republicans in the state at this time, is going to be how are the Democrats going to handle the proposal once again of the voting bill restrictions. They are at this point are saying that everything is on the table, which would include once again another walkout. But we don't know exactly how that will play itself out. Probably, I would anticipate that there will be some kind of compromise and some kind of mutual agreement with regard to the voting bill, and then they will move on to other issues and to the conclusion of the session.
And do we have an end date of the special session? I know it starts on the 8th, but does it go until Governor Abbott releases them, or what determines the end of the special session?
I can't exactly state that off the top of my head. That's a very good question, and I'm not prepared to answer that at this point. I intended to look at that, but have not done so.
No worries. We'll find out, I'm sure. You know, what about the constitutionality? Governor Abbott had proposed withholding pay from lawmakers because they didn't finish the legislative session with, a full docket of answers. Where do we stand on that?
This may be an issue. But the problem for the governor has been that it has been pointed out since he threatened to withdraw pay or withhold pay, that he's not only going to impact the Democrats who walked out, but he will also impact his Republican peers. And that does not speak well of enhancing the relationship between him and his Republican peers. And it also would not make him look good in the eyes of other more innocent parties that would be adversely affected by his taking the action not to pay for the responsibilities associated with the session. So the governor probably is rethinking his initial outburst with regard to that issue.
Can I ask you, one of the big headlines over the weekend was former Texas GOP chairman Allen West announced that he's tossing his hat in the ring for running for governor. Are you expecting that to maybe change the landscape for the GOP?
It's going to be very interesting, and I saw that as well. Allen West is really extremely conservative and has a reputation for being extremely conservative. However, on the other hand, we have our own governor who is increasing his relationship, enhancing his relationship with former President Trump. And he's doing so in the interest of his own political objectives and political goals. And the state of Texas also seems to be headed increasingly in the direction of Trumpianism. So I don't know. The most significant threat probably is Allen West to the governor's future as governor. But I suspect that Governor Abbott and his position and his past history with the state will go a long way in securing his future.
A lot of time left between now and November 2022. Dr. Carter, thank you so much. Appreciate your time and your insight.
Absolutely. Thank you.